I was 100% sure that I am not able to get on-campus placement because I am having backlog at the prime time, right?
Yeah.
Platforms like Instagram and Facebook, and less time on LinkedIn, then you are definitely doing something wrong. A country is good because of its citizens. College is good because of its
Yeah.
students.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Learning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So in today's podcast, I'm going to cover an amazing, inspirational and different story. And I'm pretty sure most of the aspiring students, like final year, pre-final year students, will be able to relate with this story, because sometimes you guys have the common question that because of any reason, if we have the backlogs in any of the semester, then how it is going to impact our placements, and will companies allow us for the placement drives. Sometimes the students pass through with disappointment, frustration and mental pressure as well because of these backlogs. So to boost your morale, I found someone who has the similar story, and despite of these backlogs, he bagged 9 job offers from 9 good product based companies, and among these companies 2 are really popular: Zomato and Disney Plus Hotstar. So now he is going to join Disney Plus Hotstar as a software engineer, and in this podcast he will share everything: what happened, what was the reason behind the backlogs, how he dealt with this situation, how he cleared it, what was the impact on placement, off campus opportunities. Everything he will explain in this podcast. So to all aspiring students, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this podcast, you will get the motivation, you will get the right positive energy, and if you're passing through with this disappointment, that will be vanished completely. So make sure to watch this podcast till the end, and whatever your thoughts and whatever your journey, feel free to put it in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon, and I will keep on bringing such kind of personalities on my channel. And guys, we all know to crack these good product based companies, one thing matter a lot, like our programming skills, data structures and algorithms part. So as an entry level freshers, it plays a very important role, and here Coding Ninjas can help you with that journey. But now you might be thinking there are lots of such kind of platforms available, then what makes Coding Ninjas different with others? So I will basically show you couple of points which I personally like about Coding Ninjas. So first, you can see the courses, the variety of courses they have for different languages, different technical domains. And next thing, let's say if you want to enroll in this C++ foundation with data structures, the thing you can see here, first, either you can enroll yourself, you can see the duration and how many students enrolled so far, and then you can basically go for this one, try for free. First you can get that feel how entire thing is working, how this is structured, then you can take a decision to enroll yourself in this course. And if you use the link which is in the description, then you will get the 15% extra discount on top of the early bird discount. So link is in the description, use it to get that extra discount. If I click here, so here you will be able to see the progress of your free trial and what all things Coding Ninjas is providing in this course. So here is basically the content. As you will make a progress, those contents will get unlocked and you will learn these things step by step. So for an example, let's say I start with conditionals and loops. So here you can see all the topics which will be taught in this particular chapter. So first I will play this video, like that's how they have designed everything. First you will learn these things from examples from the tutors, and then there will be some practice questions for you. Like here you can see you will answer these questions, and once this is complete, here you can see the assignment question. So let's say if I click on this assignment here, so I can read the problem statement, everything. But let's say I'm still confused and I'm not able to solve this problem here and I need some hints. So if you want to take a hint, you can click on this hint button and they will basically play a video. All important hints will be explained in a video format. But let's say still because of any reason you are not able to understand the solution or not able to understand the hint, and you want the actual help from the teaching assistants, then you can create a doubt here and click on ask view doubt here, and then just come here and create your doubt. Teaching assistants of Coding Ninjas will help you as soon as possible, and they will definitely clarify your doubts with best possible way. So these things definitely makes Coding Ninjas different from other platform. So without any further ado, let's quickly jump on to our podcast part. First, can you give a short introduction about yourself and your academic background?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having me on your podcast. I am a very big fan actually of your podcast. Like it has been
Thank you.
it has been a very motivational playlist for me. Like you bring people from not so very elite colleges, not so very elite background, not so very elite branches, and they crack good companies. So I have taken a lot of motivation from your channel, and I would say that it's my pleasure to come on your channel to motivate other students from the source where I am motivated. Now I have come here to motivate others, so it is I would say it is a dream come true. So, for a short introduction from my side, my name is Avinav Singh. I have done BTech in electronics from AMU, and recently I have cracked interviews of Zomato, Disney Plus, Hotstar, and many other companies like Delivery, etc. I've decided to join Disney Plus Hotstar as a software engineer, and I am doing BTech from. I've done actually my BTech is complete in this month only. I have given my last exam in this month only of BTech
Nice.
from AMU. Also, regarding how I started coding, like the journey behind it is very interesting. So what happened was that when I was in my 12th class, so I received a laptop from the government of UP. They were giving laptops to those students who were able to get good marks in their 10th class. So mainly
Okay.
10 CGPA, who were able to get 10 CGPA in their 10th class. The government of UP gave laptops to those students. And also, luckily at that time, Jio was also launched.
Okay.
So I had my own laptop and nearly free internet at the same time.
Great.
So I thought that I should use this opportunity to learn something useful. So I was very interested in how computers work, how websites like Facebook, etc. are made. So I searched on Google like how Facebook is made, and there came a result containing a list of technologies, different programming languages, etc. I started learning them on my own. So before BTech, I started coding for about 6 to 4 months. Actually, when my boards exam were going on, I was learning coding by side. My main
Nice.
focus was on programming as compared to boards exam. So this is how my programming journey started.
We will cover his story. Like that's why this podcast is going to be really motivational for the college students, because there will be a lot of students who might be passing with the same phase. So definitely Abhinav's journey will help you a lot, and that's the conversation I remember. It really means a lot to me, Abhinav, that somehow I can help you with your tough times. So it again means a lot to me. So let's move on to the next thing. Abhinav, in your final year, you had couple of backlogs. Like this is the most important part to know. Like you had couple of backlogs in the different subjects. So what actually went wrong at that time? Like what was the main reason behind it, and how did you deal with that disappointment?
So I would say that the main reason behind backlog was that it was not because that I was not capable enough to clear the
Uh-huh.
exams, but the main reason was that I didn't want to clear the exams. I was not giving any time to exams actually. So
Okay.
actually, the reason behind my backlogs dates back to about 2017. So
Mm-hmm.
during the entrance exam for my college, I was able to get good rank. So as
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you are able to get good rank, then you have the liberty to choose branches. Like,
Okay.
and majority of
Okay.
students choose computer science engineering. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought that in BTech they would teach in more practical fashion. They would teach how to make cool stuff using knowledge of electronics engineering, and I was also
Mm-hmm.
more interested towards the hardware side. So I thought that they would do like this in BTech, and I
Okay.
went with electronics instead of computer science engineering.
Mm-hmm.
This thought process behind choosing electronics went totally wrong. About 95
Okay.
or 98% content in BTech is purely theoretical. Very less part is practical. So I came to know that about choosing the branch. So I thought that no, I want to make my career in software engineering only, and I am more interested
Mm-hmm.
now in computer science subjects. So I started studying computer science subjects on my own, and started working on my projects and DSA, etc. So
Okay.
due to this, my whole time, I'm not exaggerating here, my whole time went in the software engineering and computer science subjects, and I
All
was
right.
giving very less time to the electronic subjects. So due to this, ultimately I got backlogs. I got backlogs in the fifth semester of my college. But in my college, what you have to do is to clear the backlogs. You have to give exams when the junior year gives the exam in the corresponding year. For
Okay.
example, if I have backlog in my fifth semester, then when my juniors will give the exam for the fifth semester, then I can clear that backlog. So I
Okay.
had to clear that backlog in my seventh semester. And as you know, seventh semester is the hottest time for placements. So I cleared my backlogs in seventh semester, and also I was focusing on mainly DSA and preparation for placement. So this is how my journey went towards the end of BTech.
Abhinav, how much those backlogs impacted your placements and interview opportunities? Because definitely, when companies come for campus placements, they have a very clear-cut reason that you shouldn't have any backlogs. Like when you will be joining the company, till that point, you shouldn't have any kind of backlogs. So, how much it affected the opportunities? Were you able to clear it before getting opportunities in Zomato and Hotstar?
Yep. So I would say that I was lucky enough that my backlogs didn't affect my on-campus placement. So what happened was
Okay.
that I was 100% sure that I am not able to get on-campus placement because I am having backlog at the prime time, right?
Yeah.
I didn't fill the form. Actually, we have to fill the form before the on-campus placement starts, right? We have to fill our details
Okay.
like CPI in every semester, etc.
Mhm.
So I didn't even fill that form actually because I was 100% sure that I am not able to get placement by on-campus route.
Okay.
So, but fortunately, a company came about it was having about 5.5 LPA package,
Mhm.
and there was no backlog criteria in that company. So I then filled the form because at that time, actually, if you are not from very premier colleges,
Mhm.
what we are used to think is that our placements should be done and dusted before December,
Yeah.
right? Because this is what happens in premier colleges, right?
Right.
Their placements, the placement starts in June,
Correct.
right? And very good companies start coming in June, and they are placed. Majority of them are placed till June,
Yeah.
and we see this type of content on LinkedIn, right? Many students are posting on LinkedIn like, I'm delighted to share that I'm selected at X, I'm selected at Y. So students from below tier colleges also think that we should also be placed before December, otherwise everything is over.
Yeah.
So this is one of the main reason of depression and disappointment, I would say.
Mhm.
and and I thought that I'm not going to be placed in this season, so mainly I should focus on clearing my backlogs, and also I have time, so I should work on my DSS skills more. I believe that I would clear the interviews
Okay.
if my backlogs are clear, at least from the on-campus route. But fortunately, the very first KMT which came, about 5.5 LP was the package. There was no backlog criteria. In December it came. I was selected in that. So at least the pressure was lifted above my head, like for placement. Like there will be no placement till the end of the BTech. So it was gone. And after that, in February, I was still having my backlogs till that point legally, I would say, because on paper I was having backlogs because I had given the paper. Backlogs were cleared, but on paper I was still having the backlogs because result was not announced till that point, right?
Okay.
So in February, due to luck, I would say,
Mhm.
there is a very good company, Delivery. You might have heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Delivery.
Good one.
Uh,
Yeah.
it came to on campus, and
Nice.
it didn't have backlog criteria in it.
Okay.
Like it was also there were also no criteria regarding the ongoing backlog also. February I was selected in Delivery.
Okay.
Now I was quite satisfied with this
Mhm.
placement actually. I was very satisfied that because Delivery is also a very good company.
Yeah.
Package was not very high, I would say,
Yeah.
but I was satisfied because at one point I was not having any placement, and at another point I was having a 5.5 LPA placement, and Delivery placement package was about 8 LPA.
Mhm.
So I was very satisfied with that, and I was ready to join Delivery after my BTech.
Okay.
Right. Then after that, I got internship in Leaf Finance. It is a very good company.
Mhm.
I got internship in Leaf Finance. So I thought that my resume has become much better now.
Yeah.
So I should start applying via off-campus route.
Yeah. Correct.
I knew that Zomato doesn't open any job openings like normal companies. You have to take referral
Yeah.
or they will find you.
Yeah. Right.
So I was planning to get a referral at Zomato for about 8 months.
Mhm.
But I didn't try taking the referral because I was trying to make my resume more better and better. But after I got the internship, I thought that now I have done everything from my side. Now I should try taking the referral. So I contacted on people on software engineers in Zomato on LinkedIn. I took referral,
Okay.
and then I gave interview. About after taking the referral, after about 1 month, I got the call for interview, and I was selected in Zomato.
Mhm.
And after that, before that, I was also selected in Dealshare. It is a early stage startup in India. I would say it is also a very good company.
Okay.
The package was also very good. I was also selected in Dealshare. Also, I gave an interview in Sand and Blue.
Mhm.
I was also selected there.
Nice.
And at the day at which I got the interview call for Zomato,
Mhm.
I got the test link for Disney Plus Hotstar.
Nice.
And at the day I got the result that I am selected in Zomato, I got the interview call from Disney Hotstar.
That kind of backlogs, it was not like a blocker for those opportunities. You were able to get the opportunities, and like that disappointment didn't block your path to crack those companies and to back the good packages, right?
Actually, there was a disappointment for some period of time, like for 1 month or 2 months, like every student was sitting in on-campus placement, and I was only one. I have not even filled the form for it. What will happen in the end?
Yeah.
Also, I had a very good. I was actually, I would say, in my college, I was one of the best programmers in my college. So I had the reputation, I had the pressure that if I am not selected till the end of the BTech,
Mhm.
then this would be very, very wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
because
that
everyone
was a kind of
had high expectations.
mental pressure that if you have established your image as a good programmer or as a good student, then obviously it will be a mental pressure to prove yourself.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was the case. So actually, I would not brag that there was not at all a pressure. I was super confident that yeah, I'm going to be placed in Zomato and Hotstar.
Mhm.
It was not like that. I was also feeling insecure. I was also disappointed at what will happen in the future. I would also say that I would not lie that I would by saying that I was having a plan at that moment. I would say that I was having no plan, like what to do. So I decided that I have time now, so I should prepare my DSA, and I should focus on clearing backlogs. Right.
Okay.
So this is what I did. I cleared my backlogs, and I side by side I kept myself prepared for the interviews because I knew that one day I will get chance to sit in interviews, and I should not leave that chance to luck. I should be well prepared for that one chance, and I will crack it definitely. So this is why I was preparing for DSA also at the same time.
I think we can now talk about your interview experience at the Hotstar, right? So, Abhinav, can you share your experience of interviewing with Hotstar? How many rounds were there, and in each round, what kind of topics and things the interviewer were like focusing on?
So the very first round was a hacker rank test.
Okay.
I applied to the job via LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I applied to Disney Hotstar previously also 2 times, and my resume was not shortlisted. Once I applied for internship, and another time also I applied for internship. My resume was not shortlisted.
Okay.
But this time my resume was shortlisted, and I got the link for hacker rank test.
Okay.
So I gave the test. There were 2 questions. One was from graph and one was from dynamic programming. I solved that test, and after about I was able to do all the questions. I was able to do both the questions in the
Okay.
test, and after about 1 week or about 48 or 10 days, I got the interview call. First round was mainly based on problem solving skills
Okay.
and also my knowledge of CS fundamentals. So it was 90 minutes round, 1.5 hour round,
Okay.
first round. So in the first half of the interview, he asked me like core CS fundamentals like about DBMS, asset properties, what is isolation, etc.
Okay.
And like OOPS concepts also, OS also, and then Java was written on my resume. So he went deep inside how multi-threading works in Java, like how threads take lock on resources, how other threads know when the lock is released, etc. So he went deep in the knowledge of Java.
Okay.
And after that, in the second half of the interview, he asked me a DSA question based on graph.
Okay.
So this is how the very first round went. And second round was purely based. I would say second round was based on DSA plus LLD, low level design.
Okay.
Actually, I got call from my recruiter that the second round will be low level design round.
Okay.
And I was very shocked. You generally don't see a fresher giving a low level design interview, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I was very panicked, like what I will do in this round. So what I have done is that one of the sessions I would give is that why I was able to clear all these interviews, that the fact that I never studied while keeping that I just want to clear interviews.
Okay.
I studied software engineering and computer science because I liked it. I wanted to build cool stuff using this knowledge. This is why I studied, and this is why I studied lot of things which were not useful from at that point for interviews,
Mhm.
but in the end they were used. Some part of them were used in the interviews.
Yeah.
Like I would say that I had studied a little bit about design patterns, etc.
Mhm.
Like you would say that freshers generally don't study about design patterns, etc. in their college,
Yeah.
right? But I still studied them because I liked them. So this knowledge was used in my second round of interview when he asked me to build cache and build code for that, like using all the concepts of OOPS, etc.
Okay.
And also the first question in the second round was based on greedy plus mathematical optimization. And second half of the interview in the second round was mainly based on the LLD, and he asked me a question regarding design a cache.
Okay.
So this is how my second round of the interview went. It was also 90 minutes long. And after that, there was a third round. This round was also about 1 hour long. It was with Vice President of Engineering at Hotstar.
Okay.
So in this round, he mainly asked about my past experiences, what are my interests. He also asked me the same question like, if you are so interested in programming, software engineering, and then why did you choose electronics, etc. And he also asked me about my projects and what you would like to work in
Mhm.
Hotstar, etc. So this is how the third round went. And the last round was with HR. This round basically involved like asking about my interest, what I like, what is the location I would prefer, etc. So this is how all the rounds went. And after that, after about 1 week, I got the final result that I am selected as software engineer at Hotstar.
Thanks, Abhinav, for sharing this interview experience. I hope it will help a lot of freshers to understand the interview process of Hotstar. So, next question for you, Abhinav. In short sentences, if you want to describe like what all things you focused in last 2 years of your placements or last 2 years of your college time. So, how would you describe it?
So I would say that like you have BTech of about 4 years, right? So for about the first half of the BTech 2 years, my main focus was to learn new technologies, to explore more like what technologies are like, how to build, like to understand core concepts of backends, frontend,
Okay.
etc. But during the second half, when the third year of my college started, I came to know about like DSA and problem solving in CS fundamentals are very important if you want to become software engineer in good tech companies, reputable and good tech
Right.
companies. So I started learning DSA and started working on my problem solving skills. And my main focus at that point was to build my resume also, because also like I've seen many of my friends that they just focus on mainly on
Yeah.
DSA part, like they do lead coding, lead coding, lead coding. They try to solve as many questions as possible. But I always say that if you are just doing DSA and if you are not from premier
Mm-hmm.
colleges, like what students in premier colleges have different is that they know that if they will just do DSA, then in the end a company is going to come which will only ask DSA and they will
Yeah.
definitely crack
Right.
it, right? So they have a clear path. But if you are not from a very premier college, then also if you are doing just DSA, then in the end there are many high chances that you won't even be able to get interview calls. So then where you will showcase those
Right.
DSA skills, right? So this is what I did. I mainly focus on my DSA and also I focus on building my
Okay.
resume. This is why I did internship, and this is why also during the end of my BTech also I am still doing an internship.
So Abhinav, like you are an active contributor in open source communities as well. Like I have seen your LinkedIn profile, and along with that, as you already mentioned, you bagged some good internships, right? So how did you get these internship opportunities? Because for a fresher, definitely like hunting for these opportunities is a like biggest challenge. So how did those opportunities like come into your bucket, and like how those internships even helped you to crack those good tech giants like Zomato and Hotstar?
The main success point, I would say that the main reason I was able to get all these internship was LinkedIn.
Great.
I would say that about 9 out of 10 opportunities which I have bagged till now are from LinkedIn only. So
Okay.
if I would say that if you are a fresher and if you are spending more time on platforms like Instagram and Facebook and less time on LinkedIn, then you are definitely doing something wrong.
Correct.
You should be more active on LinkedIn. I saw about my internship on LinkedIn only.
Okay.
There was a job opening at my Leaf Finance for internship. I saw that on LinkedIn. I was browsing through the feed. I saw about I contacted for referral at Zomato via LinkedIn. I saw a job at Disney Plus Hotstar via LinkedIn.
Okay.
The job at Digital also I saw at LinkedIn. Send and Blue job also I saw at LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So LinkedIn is a very useful tool. I know that half of the content on LinkedIn is filled with like useless stuff.
Yeah.
But if you build your connection, if you build your connection very, like I would say very safely, you would before connecting with someone, you would first check their profile, like what type of person is this, and
Mm-hmm.
you would say if you would send your connection request to good people, then eventually your feed will become very fruitful, very productive,
Yeah.
and that feed will help you in long run to get good opportunities in future,
Yeah.
I would say. So LinkedIn is a very useful tool, very useful term. I cannot emphasize more on this. Like if I'm saying that 9 out of 10 opportunities I got because of LinkedIn,
Yeah.
so this should show the impact, like how useful LinkedIn is.
Correct.
What you need as a fresher for getting good internships, either you can do open source contributions, like because open source is something that it doesn't require any college brand.
Okay.
It doesn't require anything, like it is the purest form of programming, like right, it is the purest form of software engineering. It doesn't have any prerequisite as long as you are able to contribute, right?
Right.
Because many students from tier 3 colleges have complained that companies are not accepting the resume because the resume is not very good. Companies are not calling them for interviews because they are not from premier colleges, etc.
Yeah.
So I would say that you can go towards the open source route. You can contribute to large projects. Like there are many very great programmers in open source community. When I contributed to Zulip, I I worked with Tim Abbott. He is a very great programmer. He was a he was at a very high position in Oracle.
Okay.
He left Oracle and then he started Zulip. And Zulip, after I started contributing to Zulip, Zulip was then acquired by Dropbox.
Okay.
So so when I write on my resume that I have contributed to Zulip and that this is acquired by Dropbox, then it gives my resume an upper edge, right?
Yeah.
Because it shows that you are ready to work on your own, even if you are not, if people are not giving you opportunities, then also you are ready to make opportunities.
Correct.
Right? So open source contribution, I would say, is very good if you want to learn something good. if you want to become a great programmer, if you want to learn how to collaborate with large
Mhm.
teams, also very good effect that your resume will also become very good.
Yeah, totally agree on that part.
But I would say that don't do open source contribution just for the sake of doing open source contribution so that you can write them on your resume.
Yeah. Abhinav, as a fresher, like what is the most challenging part in our career and how you actually deal with it? I mean, I know like your background is like choosing electronic communication instead of computer science and everything. You had your own journey. But still, let's say you are from a CS background. It's still like in starting period of your graduation, what are the most challenging parts everyone or every student used to face?
So one of the most challenging part I would say is that to build a community in college.
Mhm.
Like you find that why students in premier colleges like IITs and NITs are successful.
Mhm.
It is not because that they are in a building called IIT,
Yeah,
right? Because the course is same there also, the course is same in your college also.
correct.
They are successful because their temperament, their level of thinking, their goals, and their friend circle is good.
Yeah,
Their friend circle is productive, I would say. They don't waste time in useless things.
yeah,
So you can build the same culture as them by putting hard work from your side.
yeah,
Like IITs are not IITs because there is a building and they have put a tag IIT on that
yeah.
building, right? I can also put a tag on my house, IIT. It will not become
Yeah.
IIT, right? Like we say that a country is good because of its
Mhm.
citizens, a college is good because of its
Yeah,
students. So it depends on you in the end. No one college will also there are many students in IITs also who are not able to get good placements, who are not as
yeah,
successful. So what this shows is that in the end it is not college, in the end it is not country, in the end it is only you, and you will have to work and you will have to create the environment. Like most of the students in my college prepare for GATE. I would say that 99% of the students in my class prepare for GATE only.
Mhm.
There were very few students, I would say about 4 to 5 students only in my whole class who were interested in programming.
Okay.
So I didn't let that let me down. Like no one is doing programming, so I should also leave this because at some point of time you will also get a self doubt.
Mhm.
Because if n-1 people are doing a thing and if you are not doing that thing, then you should also start getting that doubt that am I doing something wrong?
Correct.
Because these n-1 people are doing that thing, definitely they are not fool, then I am a fool because I am doing that thing differently.
Correct.
So at one point of time, if things are not going your way, if you want something and they are not going your way, then you will have to take risks and you will have to do things
Yeah.
differently. So this was the main challenge during my college time. And as you come near your graduating date, near the end of your BTech, the second most challenging part is getting interviews
Yeah.
for a tier 3 college student. So for getting interviews, as I have told you, like for getting interviews, either you can do open source contribution, build good projects, or you can do competitive programming. Competitive programming is also a very good way to get attention of recruiters, to get interview calls. So it depends on your choice in the end. If you like more the thrill of solving questions in a limited span
Mhm.
of time, you like that thrill, then you can go towards the competitive programming route. If you like working on the actual stuff, actual software, etc., then you can go via projects and open source route. So it all depends on your choice. But in the end, you will have to do DSA. It is must. You cannot say that I will not do DSA and still I will be placed. I accept that there are many students who are placed by not doing
Mhm.
DSA, but I would say that those chances are very less. Their odds are very less. So I would say that in a country like India where competition is
Yeah.
very high, why decrease the chances,
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
You have 4 years of time, then why not invest that time in doing DSA?
Correct.
Because DSA in the end is not just for clearing interviews. It will also help you to become a good software engineer in the end. Because in the end, your goal should not be just to become a
Correct.
coder. Anyone can be a coder. Your goal should be in the end to become a software engineer. Your goal should be to become an
Yeah.
engineer. Like the main thing engineer has is problem solving ability. Like any engineer can learn a programming language in a very short
Mhm.
span of time. Why? Because he is good at solving problems. So this is what companies look. Companies hire you for not typing on keyboard, they hire you for solving problems.
Yeah, that's before wrapping up this session, Abhinav, I would ask one last question that what would you suggest to your juniors who are passing through a phase like clearing backlogs, frustration, disappointment? would you recommend them to focus on college curriculum as well, or just to focus on their interest and all? Like, just summarize your experience of passing through with these kind of situations, and how you can help those juniors with your thoughts.
For me, the biggest source of disappointment and depression, and I would say that in my friend circle also, the friends I have seen, the biggest source of depression and disappointment was students have made the mentality that either FANG or nothing. Either you should be
Yeah.
placed in FANG or nothing. Otherwise, your career is over if you are not placed in FANG. I was also stuck in this type of mentality. I also used to think that either you should be placed in Amazon and Google, because there is no Facebook, there is no Apple, there is no Netflix in India. I don't know even why people use FANG. There is only mainly Amazon
Correct.
and Google, right? First of all, FANG is also like invalid in India, and also even if we consider FANG, this is also totally wrong mentality, because there are n minus 5 great companies in the world. But if you just focus on those 5 companies, what will happen is that competition in a country like India is very
Yeah.
very high, right? And if you will just focus on those 5 and 6 companies, then in the end what will happen is that there is a very very high chance that you will not be selected in those companies. And it is definitely normal. There is nothing bad or abnormal in this thing that if you are not placed in Google and Amazon just out of college. The other source of depression would be comparing yourself to premier college students regarding the placements, not regarding the competition in learning, etc., regarding the placement. Because what will happen is that good college students will start getting placement from
Yeah.
June, and their placements, their premier placements, will be over till December. So don't let those things lead you into thinking that your placement should be over till December. Placements, as I would also say that Sashank sir also told me that there are a lot of opportunities even after January also. So this
Yeah.
is what I believed, and as you can see that it was true. I was able to grab lots of opportunities just a span of 2 months, and also according to my experience, I would say that I have seen a pattern that initially the rate at which off-campus opportunities come is
Okay.
very slow, because companies are mainly focusing on hiring from premier colleges, so they don't put off-campus job openings in that span of time from June to January and
Okay.
February. But I have seen that after February you will start seeing lot of job postings for off-campus out and very good companies. So I would say that just stay in the ground, keep preparing. You will definitely get the interview call. Just be prepared for that one interview call. Don't let the fact that don't let that regret that I could have worked more hard on my DSS skill, then I would have cleared this interview. Don't let that regret haunt you for the next part of your life. I would say that that regret will also not haunt you for your whole life, because I also there are my many friends who are not able to get very good placement in very good companies. So what I tell them is that the quality of software engineering field is that it gives you a lot of opportunities. It is not like JE. If you fail once or twice, then you cannot give it
Correct.
again. I have seen many people on LinkedIn. I have seen many people on your channel also, who were placed in TCS for about 5 years and then they switched to Intuit, Amazon, right? So software engineering is a field which gives lots of opportunities. You should never be depressed like I am not able to
Yeah.
get placement now, so I will never be able to get good placement in future. This will never be like that. Software engineering is filled with lots of opportunities, and you will definitely get a good job if you keep
Yeah.
working on your skills. Then definitely you will get a good opportunity in
That's
future.
totally agree on that point, So I think now you guys can understand that at the end it is about you and the kind of efforts Abhinav has actually put to back these opportunities. Like, instead of his wrong decision, first of all, like, in the influence he took, that okay, I'll go for the electronics and communication instead of computer science. Then he realized, okay, CS is my interest, and then he got the backlogs because he was not that much interested in the curriculum of electronics communication. So you can see the challenges or the kind of hurdles he has faced, but still he made into the very very good companies, and that's why I can say he's a really good inspiration for you all who are also passing with the same situation. So thank you so much, Abhinav, for sharing this wonderful experience with my audience, and I think you will be proven as a very very good source of motivation, and your experience will help a lot of aspiring students.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me on your channel.
So that was all about in this video, guys. I hope you would have enjoyed this entire conversation with Abhinav, and you would have find this journey very, very inspirational and very, very motivating. And if you did, then make sure to give a like and share this video with your other friends who are passing through with the same situation. And if you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. I will try my level best to bring such kind of personalities very, very frequently. I will see you guys in the next podcast. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.